2008. Me and my buddy was shooting pool at a bar. Leave, go to the corner store, pick up some snacks or whatever before we head home. So we go to the AM/PM corner store, and my buddy gets out, goes in the store. I'm on the phone talking to an ex of mine. And as I'm on the phone, as I always tell you guys, my head is on swivel, okay? So I'm never just on the phone and not, I'm always looking all around at all times. And if I wasn't like that, I probably wouldn't be talking on this phone right now, okay? Making this video. So, long story short, I see a guy looking in the store while my buddy's in the store. He's behind the car and he's peeking. You know, he's peeking. He looks crazy suspicious, like. So I see him and I'm like, okay, this is bad. So I tell her, hey, I'm gonna call you right back. Hung up the phone. I hit my window to roll the window down. Now I know when I do that, it's gonna grab his attention. And although it's not that I want his attention, but I don't want to shoot through glass. Okay. So I hit the window, and as soon as I hit the window, he sees me. He now is not looking in the store, you know, with his hands in his hoodie and his hoodie over his head. He's now looking at me, and as soon as he looked at me, it was on target. He was coming for me, and that's what he did. He beelined straight towards me, and it was on. It was a matter of who gets the gun out first. Well, I beat him. Okay, so I beat him to the draw. I draw my gun. This is while I'm in the car. I draw my gun and rack around. I was not carrying around in the chamber at that time. You know, another story. I always do. In fact, I got 2 guns on me right now, both ready to go. I haven't done that since 2008, since then, actually. And so he's beelining towards me. It's draw time. Boom. I get my gun out and rack around before he's able to get to his gun and pull it out. Okay. So for all of you who think that, you know, you won't have any time and this, that, and the other. No. Time's not the issue with that. I made a video about that. That's for another story. It's not about time. It's about the ability to do it. So I get it out, rack it, and now the gun is like, you know, pointed at him. But I don't have it like out the window. I still have it in here. Well, he heard that click. He heard the gun, and you know, he was just about to pull out. I seen the black behind his hand here, okay? So he's coming out of his hoodie like this. As he was walking towards me, he's pulling out like he's about to just get me right here, right now. I beat him, and when he hears that rack, he stops and he goes, "Are you strapped?" And I said, "Yeah, you fucking right, I'm strapped." And he just paused, and from there forward, it was all me. I'm in control now, right? So I'm giving the demands at this point now. Hey, I said, do not take your hands out of your pocket. And, you know, you might think to yourself, well, why would you say that? Why wouldn't you say, hey, take your hands out of your pocket and keep your hands in the air or something like that? No. In that moment, in that instance, I can tell you that I had tunnel vision. And so I am hyper focused on his hands. If his hands move out, I'm going to shoot. I know this. I don't even want him to pull his hands out and go, hey, nothing. Because if I could say that, right? I could say, hey, get your hands out of your pocket, hands in the air. And he can go, okay. Right? I mean, just, it's instant. It's right there. There's a video of a guy doing that to a cop. It was a black guy and that was walking. He had like a forced camouflage hoodie on. He was on the phone. Look it up. Google it. You'll see it. Most of you may have seen it already, where he had his hand in his pocket, in his hoodie pocket, and the cop was going, stop. And he just, bow, shot him right. It's so quick. It's so quick. Even with me having the gun, on him, that movement is so extremely fast. Okay. So, yeah, not happening, right? So I'm like, keep your hands in your pocket, because if his hands come out, I'm firing. And I know that, I know that. I know what I'm going to do. So keep your hands in your pocket. I told him where to stand. I'm like, stand right there. Don't move another muscle. And my goal now is just wait for my buddy to come out the store. He get in the car, and then we drive off. Bye-bye. That's the goal. But as I have him held at gunpoint, I'm asking him, what are you doing? Like, I just got real curious. And plus, it's a thing that I was taught, from the best that I know to do it, which is my grandfather and my father, who've actually been in firefights and shit hit the fan scenarios, war for grandpa, the actual, here in like the streets for my dad. Not the streets like he was in a gang or anything. My dad's never, ever been in anything like that. Grown man, but stuff happened to him right here in America. And so I was taught to speak to them, because you begin to get a feel for them. We call it checking his temperature. Okay. So I'm checking his temperature. So I'm asking him, what are you doing? Like, what are you trying to do? Rob the store? And he said, yeah. He didn't verbally say it, but he shook his head up and down. He said, I'm like, just admit it. Okay, whatever. So then I'm like, well, check this out. My homeboy's in the store. Okay, so yeah, that's not happening, bro. And you're gonna mess around and go to prison. And cuts me off. I didn't even get much of that out. But I was gonna say, bro, you're gonna get yourself in prison. I was about to try and like talk to him and have a heartfelt conversation with the guy, trying to de-escalate the situation. But as I'm saying that, he goes, that's who I want. Stop, hold on, rewind. Whoa, wait, what? Right? So I'm like, what do you mean that's who you want? You want who? Who are you talking about? You want my friend that's in the store? And he said, yeah. God is my witness. As God is my witness, I put my hand on the Holy Bible. And I'm not agnostic or atheist, okay? This is literally what he said. And I'm shocked, but, I'm like, okay, he's high. He has to be crazy high, right? So I'm like, well, when he says that, I'm like, bro, that's what's not gonna happen. And as I say that, let me try to speed this story up because there's so much to it. But as soon as I say that, he takes a step towards me and he starts doing this again. Now the gun comes out the window. I'm aiming at like dead center mass, and I took the slack out the trigger. I am not telling you to do what I did. I'm telling you what I did. Okay? This is my whole life. Guns has been my whole life. Okay? So what I do comes with a shit ton of training and practice. Okay? Anyhow, I take the slack out the trigger because I know if it goes down, the best I can hope for is that we shoot at the same time. That's the effed up reality of what I was dealing with. And I knew that, and so that's why the adrenaline was so high. That's why I was so scared. That's why I was so hyper focused on his hands and told him not to take his hands out of all that. Gun goes out of the window, and I tell him as good as I can, if you take another step, I am going to kill you. I will kill you. I swear to God, I will kill you. That's exactly how I said it. And more came out. Okay, I was saying even more than that, but don't want to get to doing too much cursing and whatnot. But that's what I'm saying to the guy. Okay, let's try to speed this up. So I tell the guy off basically and threaten him. You will die here, I promise you. And so he takes that one step back. Hands go back into, they retract back into the hoodie. And no more conversation now. And at that point, now my buddy comes walking out the store. When he walks out the store, another guy walks out the store behind my buddy. When my buddy paid for his stuff, paid with cash, grabbed his beer, whatever it was, pack of cigarettes, put in his bag, wallet back in his pocket. He walks out the store, and the guy who was in line with him walks out with him. He doesn't buy anything. He literally just follows him outside. Why are you waiting in line? And then when I'm done paying and walk out, you don't buy anything, you don't pay, you just walk out behind me. Okay? So when he walks out, he looks behind, sees this guy didn't buy anything, yet he was in line, then looks at the other guy and he goes, Eugene, watch it, it's a robbery, watch him. That's what he starts saying. He has no idea I already had this guy at gunpoint. He couldn't see it. This was like 2 o'clock in the morning. So now he's weary of the guy behind him, but the guy behind him was a much smaller guy. The guy I got at gunpoint was like 6'2", 6'3", looked like he was kind of buff, to be honest with you, underneath the hoodie and all that. Looked like he probably just got out of prison. That's what he looked like. Tattoos all over his neck, head, everything. So my buddy gets in the car and he's yelling, watch him. And then I'm like, I got him. And he realizes then I got the gun on him, so he's quiet. So I got the gun on him, and his buddy, the guy's buddy, gives him the signal, hey, they got money, rob him. Because that's the setup. I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and I'm like, don't listen to your homeboy. I keep telling him, I'm like, don't listen to your homeboy. You're going to die. And his boy's going, doing this. Like, do it, what are you doing? And I looked at him, I said, I will kill you. I will blow your fucking head off. This is what he does. Looks at me, looks at his buddy. He starts like jumping up and down, not really high, but just kind of just barely getting off the air on his tippy toes. He does this little bounce, and he does this with his head. He goes just like this. He bounces up and down. He goes, fuck it. And I thought that was it. I tensed up. And I'm ready to rapid fire his chest out. He goes, fuck it. And he turns around and he walks off. And when he walks off, his buddy hurry up and skips to try to catch up to him. Like, bro, what are you doing? What's going on? We had him. The guy had money. I looked in his wallet. We had him. The setup. What are you, he's talking to him. Like, what are you doing? I'm pretty sure the guy at that point, is like, he had a gun on me. Like I couldn't do anything, And so now me and we're backing up. We're quiet in the car at the time. But my buddy told me later on, I didn't even know this. My buddy said he put the car in reverse. I didn't even know this. He put the car in reverse and he was like, go. And I was gonna go out the direction that they went. There's 2 exits. In my mind, I didn't want to drive away from them, and then they're shooting at me and I can't shoot back. I felt vulnerable driving away with my back turned. I want to go towards them so that if he tried something, I could fire back. My buddy said, no. Don't go towards them. Go that way. And I just listened to him. This is my best friend. We've been best friends since we were 12 years old. I trusted him in that moment. And I just did it. I did what he said. I understood and recognized that I am at maximum adrenaline. So maybe I'm not thinking totally correctly. So I back up and I go out the opposite direction. Driving away from that guy in that opposite direction is one of the scariest parts of that whole thing. I thought he was going to shoot at me and I had no way to defend myself. So I really kind of got on it, getting out of there. And the fear didn't go away until I was maybe 6 blocks away. And finally I was able to breathe, and me and him were then able to like talk, put everything together. Yo, that was crazy. This is what happened on my end. This is what, we put it together and found out what actually happened. So that is the attempted armed robbery story. Most people who know me, most people know that story. Like because it's like the biggest one that happened to me, in my opinion. There's been several others now that's, you could argue, are just as scary or just as bad or worse. But that one was just huge for me. It was major. It changed everything in my mindset as far as you know, self-defense, carrying what to carry. I bought a 10mm after that. So anyway, running out of time. So that's the story. I have lots of stories, guys. If you enjoyed this, let me know. Hit the like button, subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so you know when I post another video. And I'll talk to you guys later. Much love. I'm out.